Though from time to time I cover a lot of comic book news, I miss a lot of it because I don't really go out of my way to look for it. It's one of those things where people link it to me in Twitter, in the Twitterverse. So though I'm heavy in the comics, and unfortunately for you guys, I know maybe you hope that I cover a lot of that. I'm not as knowledgeable on like what's to come. So as an example, Punisher ends, and I'm reading this, and I'm like, oh, that's the end of this run. I didn't know that. I had no idea that this was ending, and usually they let people know ahead of time that that's the case, new Punisher's coming or something like that, or we're coming to an end. I had no idea. Being 100 with the situation, I had absolutely no idea. But again, when it comes to a lot of this news, it's not anything that I seek. It's one of those things that a lot of people hit me up about, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll cover it for a video or something like that. So because it's ending, this is Rosenberg's. I've covered this, if I'm not mistaken. I've covered multiple like issues of this, and so we got to issue 16, and we're ending already. And I thought that this was a solid run of Punisher. I thought Rosenberg's Punisher was solid. The thing that I don't like about this is that it is ending, and I'm going to tell you why. And I believe at the end of this, if I can get focused on this, we're getting next punishment, Punisher Soviet issue 1, which is going to be by Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows. And that's dropping next month. So it looks a lot like the current run. So I'm like, okay, why are they picking up there? Now, maybe it's because of the writing change and so forth. Again, I'm not that knowledgeable on it. I had no idea this was coming. But if they were going to change writers, fine. But what I want to get back into when it comes to comic books, and I know why they won't ever do this. When it comes to mainstream comic books, I want to see higher issue series. This is what DC is doing with some of their main series, and I absolutely love it. Where you're getting Batman's going, I forget, it's in the 70s right now. Same with Wonder Woman, as well as Flash. Supergirl's starting to get up there. Titans was up there. What else we have over there? Just so many of them that are getting up there in high issue series. And that's what I think should at least happen with some of the main characters. You know, when I grew up, we're talking 300, 400 issue series, and that's what, to me, what it's about. They've stopped that, obviously, because they realized that, okay, if we relaunch this and reboot this, we're going to increase our sales, certainly when it comes to issue number 1. So this is why they're not going to do that again. But I just don't like it. I just don't like the idea of, all right, we're going to have this sort of ongoing series and we're going to end it at 16. And it'd be one thing if they were ending it at 16 because of, let's say, it sucked and people weren't into it in terms of they're not into the character. Start off as ongoing, issues not selling. Nobody's really interested in his character. Cancel it. But this is, for one, the Punisher, and they're telling you that. For one, they have Punisher Kill Crew, which is still going on right now, and then they also have, like I said, at the end of that, coming in on the next month. So it's not like there's no demand for Punisher. They're essentially just rebooting it, and I don't like it. I'm really sick of this. 16 issues doesn't really seem like a lot. Yes, you can span that over maybe a 2-year span, but still, I don't like it. I just don't like that. I don't like that at all. But it was a good run, dealing with Baron Zemo, Punisher being on that sort of island with him, with Baron Zemo's own island, and then seeing him come into conflict with Fisk. I think the ending was just a tad bit rushed because it's obviously was ending. You can tell where you get Danny Ketch, that Ghost Rider showing up, and Moon Knight and all these guys showing up, as well as Black Widow, and they're not there for long, right? And it does just seem a little rushed. It does seem a little rushed. We ended with him falling off a building, spoiler alert, and obviously he's not dead. It looks like Ghost Rider ended up saving him as he was about to get pushed off this building in this sort of argument between him wanting to kill Fisk, and you had who all was on that roof? It was Black Widow, Fury, Black Nick Fury, that is, was there, and yeah, so it ended a little too quick for me, but it was okay. I did really enjoy the run. This is one of my favorite comics. I've talked about this on stream a lot before when people ask me for one of like, hey man, what's a solid run right now? I've always pointed to the Punisher. I love. Oh yeah, he killed a Mandarin at the beginning of this. Like he sniped him, and like that sent this whole thing in motion. But it was a good run. It was a great run. Punisher's popping up in Savage Avengers, so it's not like he's not around. He has Savage Avengers, Punisher Kill Crew, and whatever this Soviet thing that's popping up next. Hopefully he's going at some communists. Wouldn't that be honest? If that's what's going to happen, if he's going after communists, I'll accept it. I'll accept the ending of this if this whole Punisher Soviet thing is him going after a bunch of communists. I'll accept that. I'll accept it, but probably not the case. Not that I don't know what it is about mainstream comics these days, and they're wanting to shy away from communism being bad, because you always see the whole, Nazism, right? And that's always being brought back, right? No matter what era, it's like a Nazi version of this character exists. Or, always go back to them beating up on like that is the recurring, objectively bad thing that you can see made an enemy throughout mainstream comics. And it will be constantly revisited time and time again, be in flashbacks or what have you. But they seem to neglect the fact that, or just completely ignore the fact that, the USSR was pretty filthy. Communist Russia, which is still communist Russia, but Stalin's Russia was a bad. And I've covered this in I have a video that's not even related to comics called "Yes, Nazism, Socialism," and I actually talk about history of the more Russian model socialism, talking about the Mensheviks, the Bolsheviks, Stalin's rise to power. The difference in the dynamic between him and Hitler's and so forth. Trotsky. I've talked about all of that stuff. But anyway, I just always think it's weird how they don't look at that era the same when you look at the fact that they arguably, in terms of a body count, the amount of people that died, one way, shape, or form by way of be it economically through famines and such, or just death camps and such. They sucked, but you don't see them being enemies. I guess get to be enemies like you do with the Nazis. So if he's doing that, I kind of went on a tangent there, but that's what these videos are all about. If he does that, if Punisher's going after communists, we'll see. But I doubt he does that. 16 issues. If you want a decent Punisher run, maybe that's what you guys like, a shorter run. It's not it wasn't a limited series to my understanding, but it's good. It's good. I would say check it out. I don't like the fact that it's ending. I want to get back to these higher issue series when it comes to these main characters. Certainly, if you're just going to put out another book with him the next month, what's the point? It'd be one thing if, all right, Punisher isn't selling, we're going to put him on the shelf for a little bit. We'll have him as a support character in like Savage Avengers and such. But they're coming out with another. They have Kill Crew right now, and then they're coming out with another. Like, so what's the point of ending it? If you're going to switch writers, just switch writers. What do I know?